Hi everyone, Namaste. This is Jarno Anjali Kochar. Welcome back to my channel Tookwings blog by Jarno Anjali Kochar. So today we had a conversation. We had a podcast with Mr. Vikram Subburaj, who is the CEO of Geotas crypto platform. It is one of India's leading crypto exchange, and we spoke a lot about how to invest, where to invest, and what are the word of caution you should keep in mind while investing. How much portfolio should you have about around cryptocurrencies, in about when we talk about your total investments, how much, how many coins should be there of one form, other forms, and there are a lot of things we spoke about around cryptocurrencies, around this beautiful space of Web3. I think all your questions would be answered in this amazing and insightful conversation. So I'll leave you to that. Hi, Vikram. Welcome to Kahaniyaan by Tookwings blog.
Hi, Anjali. Great to connect with you.
Same here. How are you?
Doing great. Wonderful. How are things at your end?
Amazing. So, today, as you know, today's podcast would be all about cryptocurrencies, and we'll also be talking about blockchain and other investment options. But to begin with, at Tookwings, we have this tradition that we, ask our guests to start the podcast with one story that is not about maybe your brand, maybe your work, but something that defines you.
That's something that's interesting that you guys do. So, let me start off something. So, since last 6 to 7 years has been everything around the organization that I built, that my life and my career, my whole family has also been circling around this. I would uh, talk about one particular incident, maybe from where
Sure.
a lot of things got defined on what we're going to do. Uh, so me and Arjun, we both are co-founders of Geotas,
Hmm.
right? So we both are college time buddies. We've known each other for 14 plus years now. So we got into crypto by just reading, learning, and then we were so excited and we started trading. So there was a point of time we were trading so much that we used to keep thinking that, we are working so less. I used to be with Amazon and he used to be with this company called Atlas Solar. We started feeling that, we were working so less in our organizations and spending more time in this entity. And during one of these times is when we transferred our fund to then existing exchange, there was some banking issue. It is not that there are no banking issues now. There are still banking issues. But when we tried to reach out to them, it almost took us a week to get the first connect. Now, this is where it hit us really bad. No, it is not because they did not respond back or anything.
Hmm.
It felt like we are sitting in an ecosystem which is yet to get regulated,
Right.
which is still high tech, right?
Hmm.
It's not easy to explain a crypto to a normal person.
Right.
And then you transfer a good amount of fund, I don't talk back to you. So
Hmm.
how do you feel, right?
Hmm.
So the first thing that you will lose is the trust that you will hold, right?
Hmm.
That's when we thought that, whatever we are going to build or whatever we want to do going forward has to be something that uh, I will not even say customer experience. I would say customer support will be to a level that uh, they would have not seen in any other industry even, right? Because I want to push trust in an industry where the trust should come from the brand, not from the government or the regulations or anyone, right?
Right.
So we thought that we'll build something where the customer support is going to be spoken about, right? So now 6 years down the line, if you go check with my customers or anyone, usually in a crypto space, you should say that, customers should say, hey, their product, this one was good. They have this investment option, which was great and everything. On the contrary, totally different. You will suddenly see my customers saying, hey, the support is great,
Hmm.
right? So that in a way, it shows or defines we as a founders what we are and what we wanted to do, right? Even now, uh, uh, when people in the tech space mostly want to portray that they're technically so advanced and everything,
Hmm.
that's not what I want to do, right? That's for others to evaluate if I'm technically advanced or not. But for me, what I want to portray and showcase is, we are extremely listening to customers and we are always available there, right? So that's more imbibed and everything within the organization as well. Maybe that is something that I will start off with for your question, Anjali. Yeah.
Right, right. No, that's great. I think that is what maybe starting your own company all about. You saw a problem and you wanted to, work on it, and that's great. And customer support is, of course, one thing that any tech company or any company for that matter should work deeply around. That's great. So, let's get into the world of cryptocurrencies now. That it's been long that this trend is going on about crypto investments and everything, but as you also mentioned that to make a lay person understand about cryptocurrencies, I think is still a bit challenging, right? Because for example, people around me, they talk all about stocks or other forms of investments, but when it comes to cryptocurrencies, they are a little bit you know confused, or they don't understand it well. So if you have to put it simply, what would you say to an investor who wants to invest or is thinking about cryptocurrencies? What would be your word to them?
So I'll take it in two ways in this, Anjali. So one thing, the way why cryptocurrencies are so tough to explain,
Hmm.
all the problem lies with us, the industry, right? Whole reason being, if I ask you, can you explain to me what UPI is?
Hmm.
What would a general person say? Hey, I can just take my mobile, I can just go scan the app, transfer my fund, right? The job is done.
Hmm.
You don't go explain saying that what is a UPI network, what is the stack there, what is the technology behind all the UPI network. You don't have to say all that. Why? Because the UPI technology has a lot of use cases that have been built on top that general retail customer is using.
Hmm.
So a customer knows a product or defines a product based on the use case he is using it for,
Right.
right? Now let's come to the crypto ecosystem. In the crypto ecosystem, now I go ask a person, or I have to go suggest a person that how you can use crypto,
Hmm.
right? If I say that, okay, now you can go to a coffee shop and then just go take your mobile and transfer cryptos and then you can pay for that.
Hmm.
I cannot say that now.
Hmm.
The next question that will come up is, okay, now the price of Bitcoin is $50,000 to, I mean, $65,000 today. By the time I opened up my app, it was $67,000. By the time I paid, it was again $65,000. So what am I talking about here? Right.
Right.
So that's where the toughness of explaining cryptocurrency comes in, where you had to go back and explain the tech behind it and
Right.
showcase why the tech has the potential to change all this. Right.
Hmm.
So that is why this industry is very tough to be explained at this point of time. But having said that, let me give it a shot in my way.
Right.
So let us consider that whatever that we are doing is through a network,
Hmm.
sending email through a network, right? There's an email network. Now, all of us should be in the Google's email network or the email server for us to receive mails and messages. For us to receive UPI payments, we again need a network. You should be there in that UPI app
Hmm.
and framework. For you to be in social media, you should be in the social media network,
Right.
right? So the core concept is most of the thing that we are using is on a network.
Hmm.
The characteristic of this network is very important. Why
Hmm.
is the characteristic of this network very important? For example, if I take Facebook as a network,
Hmm.
can Facebook as a network go sell my personal data to someone?
Hmm. Hmm.
That is a characteristic that the network holds.
Right.
Can my messages on the Gmail network be read by Gmail?
Hmm.
This is another characteristic of a network, right?
Right.
Now, people who built these networks have all been centralized ecosystem, be it your Facebook, Amazon, Google, the FANG as we call it, or
Hmm.
they've been government entities, or they've been organizations.
Hmm.
Now, imagine the network that we are using. The characteristic and the rules of these networks are built by private entities.
Hmm.
So it more or less saying our whole financial future And our role, it's not just financial, even in social media, it's not financial, it's our personal future as well,
Right.
is being defined by these private entities or organizations or governments.
Right.
Right? So that is when there was a thought process that came in that why don't we create a network
Hmm.
where it is not controlled by a single entity,
Hmm.
where it can be distributed and decentralized, and we all can own that network.
Hmm.
So that was the whole concept behind cryptocurrency. Now, this network, if I think in terms of money and investment,
Hmm.
will become Bitcoin as an example.
Hmm.
I can hold ownership in this network, which is a very secure network, and
Hmm.
that will become Bitcoin. Now, if I want to use this network for a social media,
Hmm.
there are a lot of cryptocurrencies for social media that have been built up.
Hmm.
Where, as just like how we use Facebook or Twitter or anything, you can actually use those networks or
Hmm.
those products or apps, right?
Hmm.
But just that they are all in the fledgling or just in the beginning phases. They have not gotten a lot of adoption yet. For
Right.
example, something like an Ola, there is
Hmm.
an Ola competitor for Ola or Uber competitor in the crypto space, where the general network of connecting a driver to a customer
Hmm.
being done by a centralized entity, and the centralized entity is worth billions of dollars.
Hmm.
Now, if I break that down and
Hmm.
make that network a decentralized network, all that $1 billion is being distributed across the ecosystem to the network players,
Hmm.
right? So why do you need a centralized entity? We will define our rules. We will try to set up the rules for the ecosystem or the whole concept.
Hmm. Hmm.
Right? So everything that you're seeing in the current existing world, where there is interaction between multiple people,
Hmm.
it will get converted into this Web3 or the crypto ecosystem.
Hmm.
Everything that is in the current state, which is in a network format, there is a competing product that is built in the crypto ecosystem.
Hmm.
Just that we are sitting it in a time frame which is like the 56 kbps internet connection of 2000s.
Hmm.
Now,
Hmm.
in 2000s, when I sit and say that, hey, I'm going to have an app in my mobile through
Hmm.
which I can watch HD videos, no one's
Hmm.
going to believe me.
Right.
Or I'm going to book a, Ola or an Uber kind of I'm going to book a driver from, no one's going to believe me, because at that point of time, what we were able to think is only the constraint of that bandwidth and the network.
Hmm. Hmm.
The same constraint is there in the current networks. For example, Ethereum cannot handle so many transactions per second, can handle only 10, 12 transactions per second,
Hmm. Hmm.
while your Visa and MasterCard handles 24,000 transactions per second.
Right.
So there are a lot of technical things that have to come out to get resolved. When it gets resolved, there is a better product that is out in the market that people can use. So what people are betting currently is on the tech that will get improved and it will solve these use cases. So that is what cryptocurrency as a whole, according to me.
Interesting. How long do you think it would take to reach that point that, there'll be a larger adoption as a whole?
Yeah. So it's very interesting, Anjali, is to tap the time here, right? So one of the most promising things on coins like Ethereum, what they've done is they've solved the way of solving this whole problem in a decentralized way.
Hmm.
For example, lending as an action, what was done till date by centralized organizations, right? And where people thought that only centralized organizations can do with a lot of checks and measures, with people being in the ecosystem to do a lending operation.
Hmm.
The DeFi ecosystem solved in a decentralized way.
Hmm.
Now, what they did not solve is how can I solve it on a bigger scale, right? Now, within a second, if I have to do 24,000 contracts that are being given for lending, can I do that?
Hmm.
Currently, they cannot do that because of bandwidth issues. To solve that, there are a lot of other projects called layer twos that have come in to help them with this bandwidth issue.
Hmm.
Those are also considered like tech projects, which are in the beginning stages, which are trying to solve them.
Hmm.
This particular bull market has
Hmm.
been the bull market for layer twos.
Hmm.
There is a lot of tech intervention that is happening, and we are hoping that within a year or year and a half, this bandwidth issue will get resolved.
Hmm.
Once the bandwidth issue gets resolved, you will suddenly find a lot of use cases being built on top of Ethereum or Ethereum layer 2s.
Mm-hmm.
So this is ideally when the adoption will start in a greater amount from the retail segment. A lot of these adoptions came in from the institutional and DeFi. Now you're going to see a lot of retail adoption that will come in within a matter of next 2 years. So I ideally see a sudden spike in adoption that is going to happen within the next 2 years in the crypto ecosystem.
Mm-hmm. And like there are a lot of cryptocurrencies options out there, but people usually just know about these Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Solana for that matter. But or I would say that there are these new options, Shiba Inu or Dogecoin. We'll talk about that later as well. But there are a lot of options. What do you think are the best investment options according to you if someone who is just starting their journey in the crypto space?
Yeah. So see, obviously, consider each of these products as a tech product, right?
Hmm.
They are trying to solve some use case.
Hmm.
So for the same use case, you will find 1,000 people fighting to solve that problem in different ways.
Hmm.
So then what you'll have to look into is what is the way that they're trying to solve?
Hmm.
Is it even good enough, or is it even smart enough? Or what is the team that was trying to solve? Do
Hmm.
they have any previous past record of being able to solve? See, for example, there are some AA coins that have come in now,
Hmm.
right? Following the AA trend. So
Hmm.
when you're looking into coins like those, then you'll have to see, who's the team, right? Because something in a field like AI, you need to have people who have done a lot of research in that space who can actually do something. You
Hmm.
cannot have someone new who is just doing his first project,
Hmm.
the coin that he releases, you don't go invest there. So depending on the industry that you're choosing to invest in crypto, you do your analysis on what is the team first and
Hmm.
what is it they're saying that they're trying to solve. Because there are
Hmm.
obviously a lot of these scam tokens, right?
Hmm.
It'll be really funny when you read their white paper when they will say that, I'm going to change the whole e-commerce setup of the world.
Hmm.
Now, this is not a problem statement you're trying to solve.
Hmm.
This is just a gyan that you're trying to give, and people generally fall for a lot of these praise,
Hmm.
fall prey for a lot of these scammers. So you need to see the team, you need to see what they're trying to solve, and then you need to see how they're trying to solve, right? Because this how is so important. For example, they will say that I'm going to solve the quantum computing within the next 1 year. I'm
Hmm.
going to give 150, 180 qubits within a matter of 1 year. I'm going to solve this problem.
Hmm.
So most of these people who are in that space know that this is something technically not possible within a year or so. So when you're going deeper into a particular segment, just like how you do it in the equity markets, right? You understand that segment first.
Hmm.
You will get data points about that segment first, and then try to see what these guys are promising. Does it match with the current advancements in that particular industry?
Hmm.
Now, that is all for deep analysis, right? So now, for a general customer who's entering into this ecosystem, just like you enter into any ecosystem, you will first touch the large caps. You
Hmm.
will not jump into small caps, right? So the
Hmm.
large caps here are Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Hmm.
So ideally, what you should do if you're my general advice for people has been, if your overall investment portfolio, not just crypto, your overall investment portfolio, crypto should not cross more than 2 to 5% at the max. 5% if you're an extreme risk taker, you have a high appetite for risk. Or
Hmm.
generally don't cross the 2% limit. Within
Hmm.
your overall portfolio, crypto should not be more than 2% at this point of time.
Hmm.
In that 2%, how you further split it? Now let's take the 2%, and now let's consider that is 100% now.
Hmm.
That crypto portfolio, 60 to 70% keep it in Bitcoin and Ethereum, because they are the large caps here, right?
Hmm.
Whole market moves according to the price movement of what Bitcoin is, even at this point of time.
Hmm.
Only now, recently, we are seeing Ethereum as a bit moved away from the price movement of Bitcoin, and it's having its own price movements,
Hmm.
which is good to see. So Bitcoin and Ethereum, 70%. The rest for 30%. There are sub-industries within this field. DeFi, as I said,
Hmm.
right? There are layer two chains here. There
Hmm.
are AIs here.
Hmm.
So you split your portfolio, try to find in each of the segment what is that particular coin which is doing good. If it
Hmm.
is DeFi, it could be some lending protocol like Aave or someone, or if I can take a DEX like an Uniswap or someone. So each of these segment I will take, and I will see who are the top coins and
Hmm.
what are they trying to solve, and do they have adoption over the years? Someone like Uniswap has adoption over the years,
Hmm.
right? Now, then I will move on to the AI, which is the much newer ones. Then I'll try to see what are the problems. Here, my analysis will be different. It will be based on team because adoption is yet just starting here,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? So I will go sub-segment wise and I'll diversify my portfolio here.
Hmm. Hmm.
Now, after all this, I need a bit of craziness because I'm sitting in a volatile zone. I'm
Hmm.
here for taking risk.
Hmm.
In that whole 100%, 2 to 3%, I'll give it to meme coiners. I'll put it in some random meme coin or some meme coin I think will go crazy. And
Hmm.
then I put my portfolio because if it works, I'm going to make a lot of returns. If it doesn't work, it's still 2% of that 100% portfolio.
Hmm.
And in my overall portfolio, it's 0.000 something, which is not going to really affect my overall volatility of my whole portfolio, right? So this
Hmm.
is how ideally a new investor should look at investing in the crypto ecosystem.
Right. Now, coming to the meme coins, as you just spoke about, what are your overall thoughts? Because Gen Z or, people, young people are more excited about investing in such options, be it the wave of Shiba Inu and Dodge or the newer meme coins that are coming up. So, what are your thoughts on investing in these meme
Yeah,
coins?
according to me, investing in meme coins is more of a fund that you're having.
Hmm.
Who are we to stop the fund that you want to have? Uh,
Hmm.
we can just put some sense saying that there's a limit
Hmm.
because it's finance, right? It is investments, it is portfolio building. It's
Hmm.
about discipline at some point of time, right? You can go around, you can invest, you can play around with all these things.
Hmm.
Sometimes you'll get 10x, you'll get the kick. You're like, wow, I just got the return. But don't just get carried away. The higher it goes, the farther it will fall down, right? So if you were lucky enough to take an exit at a good point, be happy about it.
Right.
But don't think that you suddenly got some superpowers in investing in crypto that
Hmm.
you're making a lot of returns, right? So yeah,
So is it like a good or a bad time to invest? Of course, we know about, when market is up and down in stock market, but what about cryptocurrencies? Is it like different or what are the factors that are
yeah.
considered when we see at the crypto market?
Yeah. So see, the way I usually see investing in crypto markets is first, what is that fund that you'll have to bring into this ecosystem? So the fund that you'll have to bring into this ecosystem is the fund that you don't need for the next 2 to 3 years.
Hmm.
It is that excess fund that you can leave it for it to mature for the next 2 to 3 years. Why? Like I said, these are all tech products. Now,
Hmm.
in a tech product, you cannot see sudden improvements happen within 2 to 3 months.
Hmm.
Now, any 2 to 3 months, these prices that are going up, right? It either be due to the previous improvements that have happened in the product that people are just realizing and pushing the prices up,
Hmm.
or short-term trading gains that come in because a lot of people adoption is happening and then people are trying to pump and dump here. So if you leave it for a good 2 to 3 years, what happens is you're letting the coin to actually do its work of innovating. Now,
Hmm.
that's why in every 2 to year time frame, there is a good return that people see in at least the good ones of the cryptos, be it Bitcoin, Ethereum, even Solana, as a matter of fact. Why it happens is because these products are still maturing.
Hmm.
In this maturing product, if you're thinking that, I will just invest and want to take it out in the next 3 months,
Hmm.
you cannot time the market here.
Hmm.
You fall at a time wherein, the market is at its low, but you want the money out now.
Hmm.
So ideally, if you're a person who enters into this market with the mindset that the funds are not needed for the next 2 to 3 years, you will definitely see a return which is more than 100%. Historically, that is what has happened,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? And the major thing for that is to bring in only your excess funds, not anything you have for your school, education, hospital, or nothing. Nothing should come in here. And at this point, what we are talking now, this is a very good zone to enter, according to me. Why? This zone is post what Bitcoin ETF has come in. Bitcoin ETF is actually doing really great. Any fund manager who would launch Bitcoin ETF in US, they are the stars there now. And now we are also
Explain a bit about Bitcoin ETF for the
yeah.
general audience.
Yeah. So the ETF is they are backed by something. So basically, the common ETF that you would have noticed is gold ETF. Right?
Hmm.
ETFs are like certificates that you can get, and instead of buying gold directly, you can get these ETFs from an issuer, right? So that you don't have this issue of storing the gold in your locker, making sure it's safe and everything. So
Hmm.
that's how ETFs are. One of the most famous one is gold ETF. There are a lot of other ETFs also which are available there in the market. Now, this January, the US government gave an approval for people to issue Bitcoin ETF in the sense there are custodians
Hmm.
who will hold Bitcoin
Hmm.
and they will issue Bitcoin ETF. So you can hold only the ETF, not the Bitcoin. You don't have to worry about, what will happen to the safety, security, and all that. And they
Hmm.
also regulated Bitcoin ETF there.
Hmm.
And the people who issue this are not the guys who are general guys in the crypto space or the newer guys in the crypto space.
Hmm.
These are people like BlackRock, Fidelity. These are these big names in the traditional markets who have done investments earlier. They enter into the Bitcoin ETF race.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
Now, Bitcoin ETF has been one of the best ever performing ETF in the US market till date.
Hmm.
Uh, Within a matter of now 6 to 8 months, it has done a value locked of somewhere around 80 to 90 billion dollars.
Hmm.
On a quick comparison, when gold ETF launched there, within a year it was able to cross, if I'm not wrong, 10 to 12 billion.
Hmm.
Right? So this has been a superstar performing asset, or so the fund manager who launched, they are like they're having their time there, right?
Hmm.
They start there. Now Ethereum ETF is also going to come in now,
Hmm.
right? So now we are looking at a phase where the key issue of regulations and everything which was there in the market is slowly getting solved in the right direction.
Hmm.
Now, anyone who was worried about, what about my funds? Is it safe and everything in Bitcoin? Can I keep it in these exchanges and everything?
Hmm.
Then they are trying to solve it through ETFs. Now you're suddenly seeing a lot of these traditional investors who are jumping into ETFs. The traditional RIAs, as we call, basically advisors or wealth managers,
Hmm.
they are now picking up Bitcoin ETF and taking it to the retail masses there too, for
Hmm.
them to invest in it. So what is ideally we are noticing is there is a quick wave of adoption that is going to happen in due course. Which has started in the last 6 months. A lot
Hmm.
of institutions came in US. Now with these RIAs also coming into equation, you're going to see a lot of retail people also coming into the space.
Hmm.
So there is going to be a lot of adoption that is going to happen. And this adoption could definitely be reflecting positively on the prices as well. That is why I quote, this could be a good time for people to enter because the market is also a bit flat for the past 1 month, or it
Hmm.
has been rallying between 65,000 and 72,000, trying to break the 72,000 barrier.
Hmm.
It has sided for 3 to 4 times at least now. So hopefully, the way we are expecting is next time when it touches 72,000, it's going to break that barrier and it's going to move further up.
Right. And as we spoke about the portfolio as a whole, so other than investing directly in coins, what are the other options that an investor may think of when it comes to cryptocurrencies?
See, currently, so I'll talk about this in the point of view of an Indian investor, right?
Hmm.
Because Indian investors still cannot invest in something like a Bitcoin ETF.
Hmm.
It is not available for the Indian investors. So what the Indian investors currently can do is in two things. They can directly invest in the cryptos.
Hmm.
After they invest in the cryptos, so they're just holding the cryptos for the price appreciation, right? They can do further yield generating actions or further earn actions with it. There are things like staking, uh,
Hmm.
and we have products like fixed rewards,
Hmm.
wherein people can earn, further 4 to 10 percentage or 12 percentage
Hmm.
on their cryptocurrencies, which they're generally holding for price to appreciate. So
Hmm.
instead of generally holding, you can further increase your earning options by putting in such products.
Hmm. Hmm.
Now, that is one. Now, apart from that, when you're buying cryptos directly, uh, So for example, someone's in an exchange like Geotas, we have multiple options.
Hmm.
If you're someone we are really new to trading and everything, there is a way that, one click you can buy and sell. If you are someone who was very advanced, you want to do the charts and everything and do it, there's spot market.
Hmm.
Now, for like if you notice, Anjali, so what I want is a
Hmm.
general investor who comes, and I want him to start with Bitcoin and Ethereum. I don't
Hmm.
want him to jump into meme coin race
Hmm.
here. So
Hmm.
what we also have, we have a product called baskets. So
Hmm.
baskets are generally a set of cryptocurrencies that are thematic, right? That
Hmm.
we have built and people can invest in. So I have a basket called beginners basket, which
Hmm.
is only Bitcoin and Ethereum. I don't. So whenever a customer registers, we try to show that basket to them first, at
Hmm.
least direct them towards the right way of investing. So there is a DeFi basket. So people who want to invest in DeFi and they're not able to research much, we have done some research and then we build this DeFi basket where they can go invest in these DeFi products, which is basically 3 to 4 DeFi products. We would have researched and said that you can invest in this as like you have 100 rupees.
Hmm.
We would have given some split in that basket saying 50 percentage for coin A in a DeFi, 30 percentage and 20 percentage like that. So you can invest in the DeFi basket. You can invest in, I even have a meme coin basket for meme coin lovers. Basically, in the meme coin segment, what is the cream now? Right?
Hmm.
So ideally, the idea being, how do I make it easy for their analysis so that they can invest in quickly?
Hmm.
Uh, then there are products like SIP, like you usually have with the other markets as well, that
Hmm.
people can use. So what currently people can do is invest in the crypto and earn options are there to earn further in this crypto. So that's what they can currently do in the Indian market.
Right. Now, we were as talking about exchange. So, how important is it to, choose your right exchange to, put your money in? And what are the, I mean, key things that an investor should look at when selecting their right exchange?
Yeah. So like I started this call with Anjali, the first major thing is to see how responsive the exchange is going to be. This is very important, right? So look at banking for an example. Imagine you're banking with someone and you don't get any response from them for any issues,
Hmm.
right? How tough it is going to be banking with a person like that. So just like that, right? When you choose an exchange, you choose an exchange where it is going to be so easy to talk to them and resolve your issues.
Hmm.
Because let's be very clear, it is not an industry uh, which is stable.
Hmm.
Every now and then there is an innovation that is coming in this industry,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? Suddenly, the NFT as a space boomed in the last bull market.
Hmm.
Till the last bull market, you would have not found much people talking about NFT.
Hmm. Hmm.
Now, this suddenly now people are talking about AI coins and stuff.
Hmm.
So this industry itself keeps improving every now and then or innovating every now and then.
Hmm.
And when you are investing in this industry, you're going to come out with either a lot of doubts or you're
Hmm.
going to come out with quite a few issues.
Right.
Now, when you encounter all this, it should be so easy for you to reach out and resolve this issue. So the
Hmm.
first major thing to see is how responsive they are, right?
Hmm.
The second thing what you see is what is the offering that they give to me?
Hmm.
Right? See, now it is not just investing in top 4 or 5. That is for beginners, right?
Hmm.
Once you start and you've entered into this ecosystem and you want to go further into investing, where
Hmm.
you've done your analysis and you want to invest further into it, then you need options to invest in those coins.
Hmm.
Now, what if you've gotten into an exchange where they don't have an option for you to go invest in these coins?
Hmm.
So a product offering is also very important. For example, Geotas currently offers 300 plus coins that you can buy and sell with cryptos, which is the largest in the Indian market.
Hmm.
So this becomes very critical because as you see, there are zones. So like in my portfolio, I've already done my portfolio management. 1% of my portfolio, I want to put in a coin that is newly launching.
Hmm.
Right? New launches are very important here because whenever a coin launches newly, there's a good price growth that will happen because sudden adoption, a lot of people wanting to buy, just like how your IPO happens, right? So now, if you're part of an exchange, and if that exchange is not usually in the habit of listing new coins,
Hmm.
you lose out on all this price growth.
Hmm.
So you choose an exchange which usually lists coin promptly and quickly,
Hmm.
right? So that is one thing you choose. So that's an area of focus that we do a lot, right? How do we list quickly? That is why we were able to suddenly achieve this number of 300 plus tokens,
Hmm.
right? So that is very critical. Now, apart from that, since you're there in the crypto ecosystem, depositing and withdrawing cryptos, like easy flow of fund in and out from an exchange,
Hmm.
should be available,
Hmm.
right? Though a lot of exchanges might say that, they have these many coins and everything, they might not have an option to, you bought it from somewhere, you want deposit and sell it here, they will
Hmm.
not have a deposit option, or they will not have a withdraw option,
Hmm.
right? So you choose an exchange which has got a wide array of coins which are available for deposit and withdrawals,
Hmm.
right? So these are the key things that you should notice.
Hmm.
And definitely at the end, crypto exchanges are in India particularly. One of the biggest trouble is the banking relationship, right? People in this ecosystem, they would have noticed. Every now and then there are some banking troubles that comes in.
Hmm.
So that exchange, which can continuously provide you banking support, is very critical here.
Hmm.
Like being able to easily deposit your INR and withdraw INR, right?
Hmm.
So whichever exchange has been able to continuously do it without any issues that have come up, that is a very critical point to rate an exchange, right?
Hmm.
So we usually concentrate a lot in the sense that we do a lot of backups,
Hmm.
right? Even though there is some banking issue, we try to ensure that we have a lot of backup banks that we can quickly enable and make sure for the people it looks like everything is smooth. Where like Wizard of Oz, we take care of things at the back
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
end.
Absolutely. Now, we have been talking a lot about crypto investments, and a topic of retail and crypto also came in between, right? So, do you have some thoughts on that? How soon would be that adoption coming up for any new investor to just begin their journey? I mean, if you want to maybe like, if someone is just thinking about investing in cryptocurrencies and they have to think about that, yeah, it is going to become, a large thing in a couple of years, as you also mentioned, and I'll be able to have seamless experience using cryptocurrencies as well. So any exciting news or any exciting key things that they should know about, that retail and crypto are going to shake hands soon, and that would be a great investment for now?
Yeah. So see, like I quoted earlier, right? One of the biggest thing that has to happen for retail ecosystem to come in is the bandwidth issue in this ecosystem has to get resolved, right? Like I was saying, Ethereum's 12 transaction per second is cannot handle retail,
Hmm.
right? See, but what I'm saying is not uh, investment per se. It is
Hmm.
use. I should use Ethereum in my daily life, right?
Hmm. Right.
I should use it as a product. If I'm having a ride booking app, it should be powered by Ethereum at the backend,
Hmm.
right? So that is when I'm using it on a daily basis.
Hmm.
Now, when that happens, uh, it everything is going to skyrocket because see, this tech is a parallel technology, like
Hmm.
internet, right? Now,
Hmm.
internet is parallel. If internet suddenly, when the bandwidth boom happened,
Hmm.
you see suddenly video contents changed, right?
Hmm.
New apps came into being.
Hmm.
Now, because a lot of industry had the same trouble of this
Hmm.
bandwidth was not enough in the internet.
Hmm.
The bandwidth was available. Suddenly, a lot of new industries came into being. Existing industry changed to something else.
Hmm. Hmm.
Just like that, these are crypto is a parallel industry. Something like Ethereum, when it resolves it parallel, I mean bandwidth issue, you're suddenly going to see a lot of these apps which are going to be powered by Web3 ecosystem or
Hmm.
powered by the decentralized networks.
Hmm.
That is the critical moment. So that is where I was quoting, in a year or year and a half, when these layer twos resolve these problems,
Hmm.
Ethereum is going to be that network. Ethereum, or it could be Solana or anyone else. They are going to be the networks that will be preferred for people to build apps on,
Hmm.
which could be used by the retail,
Right. Hmm.
right? So I'm generally seeing a year and a half or two for this thing of bandwidth issue getting resolved. And then you're going to notice a lot of people trying to build app. Then you're going to have a race of there'll be an app with a okay UX. Then there'll
Hmm.
be an app with a really good UX. So then
Hmm.
the improvements will happen. So 2 years from here, I'm seeing a lot of use case level retail adoption going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Right. And when we talk about crypto space, there is a lot of confusion as well for someone who is just, entering the ecosystem for that matter. So they confuse certain terms like DeFi, blockchain, and Web3, cryptocurrencies. There are a lot of terms there, So if we just talk about cryptocurrencies, blockchain, and Web3, so how would you define simply for someone who is just entering the ecosystem?
So to simply to explain, everything is the same.
Hmm.
Just that when you give a job to the tech guys, they
Hmm.
try to make sure that it is more complex and it becomes very tough for anyone to digest it, right?
Hmm.
These were all cool terms. See, something like DeFi,
Hmm.
it's decentralized finance, basically finance.
Hmm.
Finance that we are going to do it in cryptocurrency. That's it.
Hmm.
But we all love jargon, so we gave names like DeFi and everything. No, so it's all same. Web3 is crypto. Crypto is Web3. Blockchain is a technology we use in crypto. That's it,
Hmm.
right? Now, maybe to get into one more level of detail, let's. So, blockchain is a technology.
Hmm.
Uh, Cryptocurrencies are the economics that power the technology.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay, it is like the money that is needed to power this technology.
Hmm.
Now, without this money, even you can use the blockchain,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? That is what a lot of private organizations or banks try to do to use
Hmm.
blockchain only as a technology, right? Or you can use it with the money, even,
Hmm.
right? So, with the money, it changes, it gets more power. Without the money, you get only the technology. That is the difference. Or
Hmm.
else, everything is the same. They such as jargons.
Right. Now, finally, if we talk about, the Indian market, Indian investor is always, feared by all those comments by RBI or the ministers, right? So, what would be your thoughts for an Indian investors when it comes to the scenario that goes on?
Yeah. So, see, as a matter of fact, over the period, over these years, since I've been into this ecosystem, uh, we have seen a lot of positive, the negative, and now we are at a phase where I'm actually seeing a lot of positive comments.
Hmm.
In 2020, 2019, we had this biggest fear of if crypto industry, is it going to be banned in India?
Hmm. Hmm.
Right?
Hmm.
If you notice, there were a few news articles also which came out, where discussions of RBA recommending something, where it's about
Hmm.
banning and the government is seriously considering. All this was there. Now, recent times we don't hear all that. What we hear is, at least post G20, where the Indian government, we hosted the G20. It was made very clear that all the nations will have a common cryptocurrency regulations.
Hmm.
And India will be one of the key country which will also work towards regulations in it.
Hmm.
As a matter of fact, right after that, we also saw FIU, the Financial Intelligence Unit,
Hmm.
getting all the exchanges under them. Right now, they, if I say there is one entity that we all report to, not a regulation per se, but a part regulations per se, it has become the FIU, right?
Hmm.
It's very critical because something like AM, money laundering and terrorist financing, these were the two key things that was thrown at the crypto industry.
Right.
The crypto is being used for that and everything.
Hmm.
Now, with exchanges and all the crypto entities getting under FIU,
Hmm.
this key question that was always thrown at the crypto industry is being resolved.
Hmm.
Right now, we can look beyond this. Okay, now we are handling it just like how banks handle it,
Hmm.
money laundering and terrorist financing. Now let's look into the next use cases, right?
Hmm.
Now we are trying to resolve it with regulations here, with FIU, right? So over the years, what we have noticed in the last 2 years at least, the government has only gone in the direction of now how do I regulate this ecosystem,
Hmm.
which has been great, right? Now, be it taxation, though it is tough,
Hmm.
right? Though the 30 percentage tax is actually not the pain point here of the ecosystem, right?
Hmm.
Because you come to this ecosystem only when you want more than 20 percentage returns, right?
Hmm.
So 30 percentage of that is still okay, right? Now, the 1 percentage TDS, which is there in the
Hmm.
ecosystem, which is the toughest one,
Hmm.
right? So the taxation, though it is tough,
Hmm.
the industry, the way we are seeing it is slowly we are getting the recognition towards a regulatory environment.
Hmm.
So taxation, suppose that the FIU intervention that has happened,
Hmm.
and now even there are a lot of things that are happening in the cybercrime front even,
Hmm.
where exchanges are getting more recognition, the ease of operating with cybercrime to help them resolve the case. A lot of that is happening as well. So now from the fear of is it going to get banned, it is moving towards how is it going to get regulated?
Hmm.
Right. So that is the question that people have, which is a better mindset to have, which is a better question to have.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Right. So that fear of should I buy crypto and with the government will ban it is gone anymore. Now the only fear that is there is if I buy crypto, will the price go up or will it go down? Which is a
Hmm.
fear to have.
Right, right. And for someone who has to start their business in this space, right? Do you think that is India is now becoming friendly in that sense? Because in the beginning we saw startups having their base in other countries, right? Not in India. So what is all that about?
Yeah. So for a startup, still it is a tough ecosystem. Say some if you want to do something in the core crypto,
Hmm.
it is really tough. Just because the laws and regulations are not clear yet,
Hmm.
right? So you risk you either risk being in the gray zone or completely the black zone,
Hmm.
or you'll have to pick and choose what is right, and then you'll have to create your entity based on that.
Hmm.
Now, everyone like us, we already picked and chose all the things which are very clear as of now.
Hmm.
So for us, so when you do a startup, you usually try to see what is the gap here, and you will try to enter, right?
Right.
So currently, the gaps in the clear space is very less,
Hmm.
right? So you'll have to look into something else. If you're going to launch a coin or if you're going to launch a token, it is going to be tough sitting in India
Hmm.
because the regulations will not support you to do all that.
Hmm.
So yeah, so a lot of regulatory intervention has to happen for more startups to come here.
Hmm.
Though a lot of talents in the Web3 ecosystems are from India,
Hmm.
though a lot of developers in the Web3 ecosystem or crypto ecosystem are Indians, a lot of these coins, tokens, companies in the crypto ecosystem, you'll find most of the developer back offices sitting in India.
Hmm.
So we have very rich talent. Everyone in the around the world is using our talent. Just that if the regulations are much more clearer, I think we could use it ourselves.
Hmm. 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 Right, absolutely. And, when we talk about talent, or which also brings me to this point of education and awareness around cryptocurrencies. So, what are your thoughts on that? Are we doing a good job in India in terms to when it comes to awareness and education regarding the space?
There should be definitely more education, Anjali. See, it's as simple as even now, we notice a scam token being launched in the Indian market,
Hmm.
which will not be listed in obviously any of our exchanges because we do a lot of due diligence before we list.
Hmm.
These guys, they launch some scam projects. See, as a matter of fact, most of these guys don't even launch a crypto.
Hmm.
They just say that they have a crypto, you invest in it, you will get a lot of money. Because that is the buzzword now,
Hmm.
right? They start an MLM scheme, they'll fool
Hmm.
these guys, and so what ideally happens at the end, it will look like cryptocurrencies are used for scamming or
Hmm.
cryptocurrency scams. Now, most of the cases, if you go down and see,
Hmm.
there'll be cryptocurrency.
Right. Hmm.
Just that it is a keyword that not many will understand, so it is easy to scam people around it,
Hmm.
right? Now, see, though as an industry, we try to do a lot of education to our customers,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? And we try to reach even beyond our customers. See, for example, we try to see we do a lot of webinars on a weekly basis,
Hmm.
right? We try to do it in different languages as well,
Hmm.
right? So that the one thing we noticed was a tier two, tier three also, a lot of these scams are happening.
Hmm.
So we try to see if we can also do multilingual, try to reach out to a lot of tier two, tier three. But having said that, there is still a very, very large scope, an area where the government and the industry can come together and
Hmm.
spread their wings and bring in awareness. That is something that will be great, right? See, like what mutual fund Sahi did, though it
Hmm.
is industry for the revenue.
Hmm.
What we want to do is to have a government industry collaboration wherein we spread awareness of what is right. There's no reason for an MLM to be here in this ecosystem. The
Hmm.
crypto ecosystem. I'm not talking about other ecosystem. MLM is not illegal in India. Right? But
Hmm.
the crypto ecosystem, the moment you find it, don't go invest. Right?
Hmm.
There are certain, at this point of time till the regulations come, whatever you understand in crypto, you go invest yourself, right?
Hmm.
Don't give it to anyone else. If you feel that you're not able to do it, it's okay, right? Don't do it.
Hmm.
Whatever you understand, or you stick to Bitcoin, Ethereum, go buy in an exchange, you keep it yourself.
Hmm.
Don't give it to anyone and try to, these are certain things, we try to say in a lot of our awareness zones. And this portfolio, like don't cross 2 to 3%. What is the money that you bring in? So we try to spread it. Now, it can spread in a larger scale only if there's a public-private collaboration, the industry and government collaboration that can happen.
Hmm.
There's a lot of, see, for example, in small scale, we have definitely done it. In states like Tamil Nadu and all, we have collaborated with cybercrime officials,
Hmm.
uh, frequently, help them with their social media communications and everything.
Hmm.
We do a lot of training to cybercrime officials across India. Almost 18 plus states, Geotas as an company, we have went and trained cybercrime officials on. See, it's not just customers, right? It's really tough for someone who's investigating as well, because
Hmm.
it's a very high-tech new industry.
Hmm.
So only if they're able to understand, they're able to find out what is right and wrong here.
Hmm.
So we do a lot of training to cybercrime officials as well. So though it is happening in a good pace, but there's a large scope. There's a very large scope that can happen.
Hmm. You mentioned about states. So, are there any, in according to your database, are there any particular states those are adopting crypto better than the other states?
So I'm not able to pinpoint states, but see again, I come with a distinction of we are very strong in the southern markets.
Hmm.
Um, as a matter of fact, since I provide a lot of I'm the only guy who provide multilingual customer support.
Hmm.
My uh, I have 82 to 85% of tier 2, tier 3 customer base.
Hmm.
Usually, when you talk about a new age product like this, you will think that only people in tier 1 will invest,
Hmm.
right, in the major cities. But yeah, whatever data I'm going to give will be much, much different from the market,
Right.
since I hold more than 80% right of tier 2, tier 3. So and I have a very, very stronger base in the southern markets, right?
Hmm.
Maybe if I look industry wise, obviously, the overall industry, cities play a major part. Something like cities like Bombay, Hyderabad, and Bangalore, they do have a larger base
Hmm.
compared
Hmm.
to other cities.
Right. And overall, for an investor, if you have to, leave them with a thought, one advice and one word of caution, what would that be?
So, one advice would be now look at it like this, right? Either cryptocurrencies will go up
Hmm.
or they'll go to bust.
Hmm.
These are the two choices which are there. So, as prudent investor, what we should do is we should try to see what is there's a lot of potential then if people are talking about.
Hmm.
Then we'll have try to see that, okay, we can make some investment,
Hmm.
but it can also go bust. So
Hmm.
what I should see is then how do I limit my risk,
Hmm.
right?
Right.
So it is always prudent when there is a really good tech to have a hold on it,
Hmm.
but limit the risk,
Right.
right? So always investment is about portfolio management and what is the level of risk you can take and how do you limit the risk.
Hmm.
It applies to crypto ecosystem as well,
Hmm.
right? And word of caution, uh, do not jump into an ecosystem thinking that I want to do 100x or 200x.
Hmm.
You jump into an ecosystem thinking that I want to understand this ecosystem first,
Hmm.
right? Then after you understand, then you put in more investment in this ecosystem, right? And whatever you do in the ecosystem like this, start yourself. Whatever you can understand is still okay. Just do that, right?
Hmm.
If for even for 2 years, if you're just stuck with Bitcoin and Ethereum and you're not able to go beyond that,
Hmm.
still have done a great job,
Hmm.
right? So stick to investing yourself. Always check your risk levels, right? Is your risk increasing? Is your portfolio risk increasing? Always keep a check on that.
Hmm. And is there a right age to invest, or anyone can invest in the space?
See, so obviously this is a volatile asset, right?
Hmm.
So the younger you are, you become a better investor. The
Right.
older you are, it becomes a tougher investment.
Hmm.
As a matter of fact, the younger crowd,
Hmm.
I can explain this product easily to them. I'm not
Hmm.
saying they're more risk taking and they'll jump in. That is
Hmm.
always there. But uh, the amount of explanation that I'll have to do,
Hmm.
because for an older crowd, they have to unlearn to relearn this.
Right.
I used to jokingly say my son is 8 year old.
Hmm. Hmm.
To explain NFT, I don't have to do anything. I just
Hmm.
had to say that Minecraft, you had this particular thing. No, if you can exchange that, that is NFT.
Hmm.
It took me hardly 10 seconds to explain to him
Hmm. Hmm.
because they're grown up in this environment. Just like internet came into my life when I was in 10th grade.
Hmm. Hmm.
Now imagine a generation right from the day that they were born, they are
Hmm.
growing in internet. Right?
Correct.
So their perspectives are much, much different. They will easily absorb this. So the much younger you are, the better you are.
Right. Amazing. We'll wrap up the conversation on this thought that much younger you are, you have more time to, understand the space and take risk, I would say. And thank you so much, Vikram, for joining us today. It was a really, really insightful conversation for me and for all the listeners out there. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you, Anjali. Thanks for having me here. I really enjoyed answering all those questions. Would love to do another session even. Thank you.
Definitely, definitely. We would love to have you again and discuss something or the other in this industry. And, of course, this is like a trend that is going on, and there'll be new things adding up, and we'll be having more, opportunities to talk about.
We'd love to do that. Thanks, Anjali. Thanks for
Thank
that.
you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
So I hope we were able to answer all the questions you had in your mind around Web3, around investing in cryptocurrencies, what to invest, why to invest, where to invest, and a lot more insightful points you must have gotten through this conversation. And if you have any other questions, you may write back to us. You may write back to Vikram as well. And of course, go check out Geotis crypto platform. It is India's one of the leading cryptocurrency exchanges. So if you're thinking, and of course, as he mentioned that, they have a seamless customer support. So if you have any questions, seamless as well as, multilingual customer support. So if you have any questions regarding cryptocurrencies, regarding where to invest, you can always reach out to them as well. So it was a great conversation for me, and I hope it went well for you guys as well. And again, I'll leave you to that thought that if you want to be a part of my podcast, you can always write back to me, reach out to me, and we can always collaborate, share stories. And yeah, that is what Tookwings is all about. Thank you so much, guys. Namaste.